Welcome everyone to the 19th Hole podcast, this brand new monthly golf talk show where we continue long after the final putt. This exclusive series brings together some of the brightest minds and biggest personalities from the world of golf and beyond. We're very happy to have one of the best players from Swiss golf here today, Jeremy Freiburghaus. Let's have a warm welcome for Jeremy.
Thank you.
So just a quick question. Does everybody know what the 19th hole is in golf? Perfect. Like last time, everybody knows. Yeah, so I would like to thank also to Andy and Brian for Andy does the sound. Brian is here for the drinks, which is normal on the 19th hole. So thank you, Brian. Thank you, Andy. Also a big thanks to Athletes Network, which provided us with the cameras for today because our cameraman Gustav was not available today. So also a big thanks to them. It's going to take about 45 minutes to an hour, I guess. And to the audience, if you have any questions, just please raise your hand up and then we can address that. We're going to do it this time that way. So so Madu, please introduce yourself. We have Madu here today too, Jeremy, and me, Zeno.
So I'm Madu. I'm a golf fanatic. I like to watch it. I like to play it, and so that's enough about me.
First of all, thanks Zeno and Madu for having me. Fun opportunity here. And my name's Jeremy Freiburghaus, born and raised in Graubünden. So I grew up in a little town called Bonaduz, which is close to Chur. And I live with two friends of mine back from school and also from golf. I live in a little flat there and I base myself out there, play golf in Domadems. Got to the game through my dad. He's a golf teacher in Domadems, so that's how it all started, yeah.
Nice. I'm Zeno Felder. I play golf since I'm 7 years old, professionally since 8 years now. And I've spent a few years with Jeremy together, I would say. I mean, I know him since he's 12 years old.
Probably.
Something like
Sounds
that.
about right.
Even younger, probably. So, welcome everyone. So we're gonna just start with a quick question for the audience. Did you ever break a piece of equipment or a club during a round of golf?
No.
No? Because I know Jeremy did for sure.
I definitely did, especially in my younger days. A few club trolleys were broken.
I think one in Egypt once broke. I think you wanted to break the trolley, but the club broke it.
Yeah, did we play together in that? No, I think I played with Marco.
No, but you were lucky I got another sandwich with me.
Exactly.
Because I had two sandwiches with me and you broke.
On the second hole already.
Yeah, so now just let's talk golf. So we have to address it really quickly, like the Masters. How crazy was Sunday?
It was very crazy. I was rooting for McIlroy since the beginning because I think he really deserved to win there, and I didn't think he's gonna pull through because he had so many. I think for him mentally, it must be like the toughest event ever to go because he just had so many missed opportunities at this event.
It's also everybody talks about it.
Exactly, everyone talks about it, that McIlroy is not gonna win it, and I think personally, well, he also said he puts the phone away during the Masters, so I think
it's a good idea.
That was a good idea for him. And actually Sunday was funny because we were still in Dubai. I was in the room with Robert and we watched the first 9. I think Rory was already ahead by like 4 strokes or something, not sure.
Yeah.
And then I was like, for me it was like, okay, well, it was getting tired because in Dubai it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, so I fell asleep. And then Robert like started shaking me like, dude, they're all square.
No way.
Yeah, he just hit that shot in the water there and
so when he was on 13 and Auberg and Rose they were all on -10, I think.
I think so, yeah. They just evened out, yeah. And then I watched the last few holes. It was really exciting, especially that 18th where he missed his first chance there in the regular on the regular 72nd hole where he hit it in the bunker. That was
and then
definitely tough.
he's pretty much in the same spot, and then he
exactly
like nails it to 3 feet.
Yeah, 3-4 feet. Yeah.
Yeah, that was insane. Yeah, did you watch it too, Madu?
I watched part of it, but no, I did not watch the last day.
You should have.
You should have only watched the last day.
Normally you only watch the last day. No. It was. I mean, there's also I saw a statistic about it that McIlroy, the shots he hit on 15, 16, and 17, I think it was somewhere around between 180 and 215 or 220 yards, the 3 shots, and he hit the first one on 15 to 9 feet. The second one he hit to 6 feet and then to 2. And how do you think the possibility is of that a tour professional does that? Like, how big is the chance that a professional would do that? What do you think? 10%. 10%? So chances are like 1 in 28,000 that he would do that. So that's how crazy this 3-hole stretch was after he hit one in the water on 13 and then 14. I'm not sure if he made bogey on 14 too. Can't remember. But then just that stretch, it's actually crazy how good those 3 shots were.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So now to Jeremy. So you played 2023 full season on the DP World Tour, right?
Yes.
So how was that experience?
Well, it was a tough year, definitely, but I think I learned a lot during that year, and it was definitely also fun to see how it is playing on the DP World Tour, and definitely got me ready in case, hopefully, I get back up there.
I hope so too, yeah.
Okay.
So what were some of the things that you learned during that year?
I think the most important thing I learned that from graduating from Challenge Tour the previous year, that I thought I need to improve my game. So I thought to compete with these guys, I need to do certain stuff different. For example, I was hitting low draws literally all my life. That's how I played my best. And then I had people telling me greens are firmer on tour, pins are more tucked away, I need to hit the ball higher, preferably hit a fade. So I tried to implement that in my game, and that kind of messed a little bit with my swing. So that was definitely the biggest struggle, because then I started missing it both ways. I was struggling off the tee, especially with my iron game, which usually is my strength. And it took a while to get back to what felt comfortable before. And that's definitely one thing I would never do again, because I think my game was plenty good enough to be up there, and then maybe just improve tiny bits over years and not try to change everything in one year, 1 month even.
I mean, I think you finished second on the Challenge Tour ranking the year before, right? When you graduated.
Yeah, second, yeah.
I mean, it was like pretty damn good year, 2022, I guess.
It was a really good year, yeah.
We're going to come to that later. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense. So what was like kind of the hardest course you played on the DP World Tour? I remember you told me once that you played the hole 18 where there was like bushes or something on the right and water on the left. And you just said like you literally just wanted to hit it in the water on the left because like right was dead.
Yeah, that was in South Africa. The course was actually not like super hard, but during that day we had crazy winds.
All right, yeah.
And especially that hole, that was hole number 18, and we're teeing up from literally 80 meters above ground, and you're just hitting down, and everything looks so narrow. There's water on the left, bushes on the right, and the wind's just blasting into from the left, so all you can see is that ball just going OB on the right.
Going high right, yeah.
And I think you could just be stuck there all day on that tee box. So I was talking to other people and they were actually telling me that just try to hit like a low draw iron, like even try to hit it in the water so they at least they're able to drop down there.
Yeah.
But luckily the tournament the day got suspended because of high winds. So
All right.
just before that tee shot, I was able to just walk home.
That's perfect. Yeah. So, but back to the question: what was the hardest shot, the hardest course you played ever?
Like ever, I would say Lidum St. Anne's. That was during my amateur days. We always had one tournament a year there, usually very windy, and there's just so many pot bunkers. And if you have a bad day with your off the tee or even with your long game, you can shoot a high number.
Yeah, can see that.
Yeah, but also we had some calm days where but scores were still I think the winning score was never on the par.
All right.
Over 4 rounds, so it was pretty tough.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Where is that course?
Lidum and it's
Somewhere in England.
somewhere in England.
Somewhere on
definitely.
the island. No, but
I
you know where
actually,
it is?
I don't actually know where it is, exactly. Is it close to Manchester? I don't know. I don't want to
I
say
don't know
anything
either.
wrong.
I've never heard of it. That's why I'm
Maybe
asking.
some of
Yeah.
the audience know where. No? All right. Well, we can figure that out later, I guess.
We will.
For sure. So, how do you stay focused over a full 4 days of golf? Like normally you arrive 2-3 days before the tournament.
Yeah, so usually Monday is travel day, then Tuesday practice day. I tried the past few years that I play my practice rounds in 9 holes only, so I can save a little bit more energy for the tournament. So I play 9 holes Tuesday, do a little practice, and then I do the same on Wednesday. Try to do Wednesday afternoon a little bit more relaxed, focus on recovery. We always have physios, ice baths, and stuff at tournaments, so
Sounds like a wellness hotel there.
it's definitely getting there. And so I tried to do a lot of recovery. I think big part is experience. I think the more you play 4 round tournaments, the more you get used to it. Nutrition on course is a big point. Manage your practice. I mean, there's people who hit 3-hour balls after every round as well, which is tiring out, especially if you play 4 weeks in a row or even 5 weeks in a row. It just gets you.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but I think just trying to recover a lot and maybe just practice the important things, stay on top of things is key.
Yeah.
So, what does a full day of practice look like for you?
In tournaments?
Let's say you're not playing a tournament that week, and you're just practicing at home, at your home course.
Well, depends. During the season, actually, I don't, especially when I'm playing well, I try to use these weeks more like recovery weeks. So I don't go too hard on practice. I would maybe practice 4 hours a day, 5 times a week, something like that. Try to play 9 holes, especially as I mentioned, when my game is good, I just try to work on my strength, stay on top of things. And everything's a little bit different when I'm not playing that well, so then I would maybe spend a little bit more time on the range.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you, when you practice, do you listen to music? Or when you're warming up, or do you like to just
It's a good question.
be focused on
Good. I used
what's
to
around
do
you?
that actually, but I started in tournament warm-ups. I don't listen to music anymore because there's no particular reason. Probably I lost my earphones at one tournament and I stopped doing it. But I think you're more in the moment. You can hear the sound of the ball when you're hitting shots, so you're a bit more engaged in what you're doing. Yeah. But maybe if I was nervous or something leading a tournament and I need to be more just focused on what I'm doing, maybe I would put earphones in and just try to distract myself a bit.
There's guys on I think it was 1 year challenge tour. I think it was in Sweden too. When I was on the range, and there was a guy in front of me. He had his phone in his back pocket and full blasting loud music. And I was like, dude, like, you know, I don't like the music really you're listening to. Like, just try to use earphones. But he didn't really care. So it was an interesting experience. I don't know. Does that happen on the DP World Tour too, or is that more like a...
No, not really. I mean, sometimes when you're like practicing late afternoons, you can, I mean, I would listen to music loud, but then I would just go in a corner of a range where you're alone and not disturbing anyone.
I think that was even warming up before the golf tour.
Really?
Yeah, it was,
Okay.
I think it was in the morning before the tea time. Yeah, that was a funny experience for sure.
Yeah.
So how do you bounce back, or how do you handle bad shots or bad weeks, bad tournament days? Are you trying to?
I think that's also has a lot to do with experience. I mean, when I was a kid, I wasn't really good at that, so I was raging a lot. And I think after a while you start noticing that doesn't really help.
Yeah, most of the time it doesn't.
And I mean, I've played so many rounds where I just started really badly. For example, I'm 5 over after 5 holes. And then like I still managed to shoot 6 under on the back 9 or even 7 under and bring in a -2 or something. So I always try to have this like in my mind that things can change very quickly and the round's never over until it's over.
All right.
Until it's over.
Yeah.
Just like try to accept what happened and
Yeah.
stay as positive as possible for the rest of the round. Yeah.
How do you deal with it, Zeno?
Me?
Yeah.
Good question. Like a bad round, normally I probably spend sometimes a bit too much time on the practice ground after. I would say I could definitely improve that. I think I can handle bad shots quite well because I hit kind of a few over the past year because I didn't play too well last year. So I think I can handle those quite well. I mean, there's some tools I got from my mental coach to deal with them. It's I think we just took some the funniest memory I could imagine, and we took it, and we have like, so for me it's like when I go across my forehead like this, you can see. So it brings this memory to my head, and I just start laughing.
Okay.
And that's when you get like the good energy back, because there's I think it was a German psychologist which she said that if you laugh for 1 minute, even though if you're mad, but just like if you just use the muscles, you don't really laugh, and you just hold it for 1 minute. I look stupid, right? But if you just hold it for 1 minute, like the brain will think like you're happy, and it will put out the hormones in your brain, and then you just like your whole mood will be much better after. So that's something I think everybody will. Well, you mean you can hold your phone against the ear and just go like, well, let's just call it. You know.
We'll try that out.
Can work. But for me, this is always something that helped me for sure too.
Okay.
I mean, it didn't always, you know, when you like a few weeks playing bad, then sometimes it's getting harder.
It is always tougher, yeah. You think it's like a never-ending loop, and you start playing bad again, and then you're like, oh, not again.
Yeah, you kind of start like a few good holes in the beginning, and then just 3 or 4 holes like pretty bad in the middle, and it's just like.
So speaking of a mental coach, do you have one?
I do work with a psychologist as well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That probably also helped you
Yeah, definitely.
with raging.
I think the raging part I figured out myself. But yeah, just in general, like it's a lot of like cues, like what if like moments, like so just stuff whenever it, like you said, after a few bad holes that you have like some stuff to do, like, or breathing exercises when you get nervous, just even pre-shot routines, just stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a specific pre-shot routine that you go through on every shot?
I do, yeah. So it's different in, like, for long game, for example. I will always have so once I do all my decisions, wind, yardage, and I choose the club I'm gonna hit and the shot, I will always have my glove open, and then when I will go back, stand behind my ball, just trying to picture that shot, and as soon as, like, everything is clear to me, I close the glove.
Yeah.
And this is when I try at least to have no other thoughts again. So I do my 2 practice swings, set up to the ball, like, look at the target, have 1 waggle, and then I just go.
Okay.
And actually, last year when I was struggling in the beginning, I was thinking too much technical work. And that's where I started, like, focusing more on that, and I wouldn't even change anything. I would just go to the range and just practice my pre-shot routine for like 1 or 2 hours. And after like 2 weeks, everything started, like, my thoughts about golf swing, everything would clear, and I was playing so much better.
Yeah, I think it's really hard if you play with technical thoughts on the golf course.
Yeah.
Like, you can do it on the range for a couple hours, but I would recommend not to practice too much technique on the range too. So you go maybe through a half an hour technique, and then you try to address what he just said. Like, so you try to practice your golf shots and hit the target and not go too much into technique. Because playing with thoughts like this is just most of the time not going to work out.
Yeah, but it's also tough when you're like, when your game is just, when you know you need to change something in your game and you're like practicing so much technique, and then you're out on the golf course, you want to change it. So it's always difficult to find that middle.
Yeah, it's always like you were on the range or a week before, you know how the feeling was when you hit it well, and then you kind of miss a few shots on the course, and then you start trying to get that feeling back.
Mm.
And that's exactly what it's hard to like find the right way, right?
Yeah.
Are you a guy which talks a lot with his flight, or how is it on the tour? Do you talk a lot with your flight partners, or is it less or more with the caddy, or?
I mean, it depends who I'm playing with.
If you play with Nick Bachem, it's going to be a fun round, I
Definitely.
guess.
I just played with another friend, Freddie Schott, 2 weeks ago, and that was really fun. I mean, that felt like literally I'm playing a practice round. He was like, we were both in a bunker, and he's like, all right, should we play for a beer, whoever holds it? And he wanted to play money games. And I always try to stay like focused, or I'm always a little bit nervous. And I think with him it was also tough to like completely go in that practice round mode.
Mm-hmm.
So I do talk a lot on the course, but also try a little bit to stay focused as well. Yeah. But I also play with some guys where I don't really want to talk to, so then I just don't talk.
Then it's gonna be a silent round.
Exactly.
So who did you travel with, or who do you normally travel with? I mean, on the Challenge Tour, there's a few other Swiss guys playing. But on the DP, there's I think it was Joel playing at that year too, or
no, I was the only Swiss guy that
year.
year. Yeah.
True. Yes. So I mean, did you travel yourself, or?
Yeah, most of the time I traveled myself. I knew a few Germans who also qualified from Challenge Tour that year. So, for example, Freddie and Nick.
Yeah.
So I tried to travel with them sometimes too. But I think on main tour, everyone has their team. Like, some guys will bring their physios, they will bring their coach, girlfriend, and then everyone does his own thing a bit. So they would just go into their own room or book their own Airbnb. So you're a little bit more by your own on main tour. Yeah.
All right.
So when you're playing somewhere for 4 days, what do you do in between the rounds? What's something that you like? Do you go to the bar and have a drink, or do you just go to your room and chill, or what do you do?
Yeah, I try to start, like if we're in an interesting
Start
place.
drinking at 3.
So I tried, like if we're in an interesting place and there's like let's say we're in a big city, I try to go out at least once, like a Wednesday afternoon, just see what the city is like, just to get away a little bit from golf, because otherwise, a lot of times we're not in that nice places, so it's a lot of time in the hotel room. So I actually started when my apprenticeship was in IT. So I started like programming a little bit now. So I try to have like some kind of side project or just something that puts my mind away. Yeah. Definitely gym and recovery takes a big part sometimes, which actually also feels like relaxing a little bit, doing like ice bath, sauna, just stuff like that, yeah.
Okay. So when you're not on the golf course, you try not to think about golf.
Because I think it takes a lot of energy thinking about golf all the time.
I mean, sure, there's going to be like maybe half an hour or hour after the round where you're going to do a little practice.
Oh, definitely, yeah. But once I leave the golf course, then I just try to do... No, I don't go back. Just try to do something different, yeah.
Yeah, I remember because we have a friend of me, Alessandro Noceda, which travels with me sometimes. So he would go back to the hotel room, relax a little bit, and then maybe at 7 in the evening, just before the sun went down, and you just saw him walking out with his putter and his putting gear, and just like go putting like for 1 hour into the dark, which I thought was like he just came back directly to dinner after into the hotel. And I was like, where have you been? He's like, I was putting. Okay. I mean, he always putted quite well, so props to him for
maybe
that.
that's the key.
Maybe that's the key, yeah. Who knows? So, So what's your favorite drill to do during weeks? Does that change, or will it always be kind of the same?
I always do mostly like a little bit of the same stuff. So in putting, it's definitely for me just working on the start line with like a little gate thing with the 2 balls. So we just do this left to right, putts right to left, hole like 5 or 7 in a row. Mm-hmm. And then I have my go-to drills, like it's quite a big library of drills. So I have drills for short putts, long putts. It will take a time if I go through all of that now. But one of the most important things I do, I think, during tournament weeks is definitely yardages with TrackMan. Mm-hmm. So I try to figure out what kind of shots I use the most. Let's say there's a lot of like 100 to 150 meter shots. So you can create like tests where like 10 or 20 balls between that yardage, and it just spits out like random distances to also you can see like pin locations. So you can try to hit fades in there, and I just try to like dial in a little bit my distances. Yeah. I think that helps also to get away from like the technical thinking and do something course related on the driving range.
Yeah, and I mean, so distances will always change from week to week, right? So like the higher you're up, the more like the hotter or the colder the air is, the ball will travel different distances. So 1 week the 7-iron will go 170 meters. With you, maybe 200. I don't know how far.
Yeah, no, I'm not that much longer. Just a little bit.
And then a week later, maybe only 160 or 155 because it's like 10 degrees outside. So that's something that's really important to check on a weekly basis, so you know how far you hit the ball. Yeah. Because it's quite important if you're on the green or in the bunker. Right?
It is, yeah.
So is there something you don't like being a professional golfer?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, it's I think that definitely a lot of traveling gets to you. So whenever I'm home or whenever my friends are like, are we going on holiday in July? And you're like, I just have 1 week off and I don't really want to go anywhere. I don't really enjoy too much traveling outside of golf. And I think the other part is a little bit you're just spending a lot of time in your hotel room, like doing not much else, like just watching Netflix, waiting for the next tea time.
Yeah.
And I think that can get boring sometimes. So that's one reason why I try to start different things, like going to the city, do a little bit of programming, just like so I have hobbies during golf tournaments.
Yeah, we had an interesting experience last year in Vienna.
Oh yeah.
We played the qualifying school for the DP World Tour. And I mean, first 2 rounds we were able to play. It was not the most, how do you say, comfortable conditions we played in. And then I think the next 2 days we were literally just sitting in a hotel room waiting for an email or an SMS like, okay, round will restart at 10, and then it was like at 11, and then it was 10, and then it was 12, and it just kept going. And at some point we just, what did we go to like a mall?
We went to a mall afterwards.
A huge mall, and we just walked for like maybe 3 hours, just walked into every shop and just ate something. And then I think we bought a book too, because we're well.
Because we were spending so much time on Netflix.
Yeah, might as well read a book at some point. Yeah, yeah, that was
a fun experience.
pretty frustrating, but there was no way we were able to play, so that's happened sometimes too. And then you just wait, so you're just there because you cannot really. At some point we were able to go because they said the day is cancelled. But normally you only get, okay, next announcement is in an hour. So you're there and you're like, well, okay. And then it's Netflix, so what series goes 1 hour? And press play. When it's over, you check the phone again and see if we play or not.
Yeah, at least we were in our hotel room.
Yeah.
Like the worst thing is when you're at the golf club.
Yeah,
and just sitting on that chair, just waiting for 7 hours.
Yeah, you cannot really do anything. That's true, yes. So, yeah, that's actually a funny one. Because did you ever have like a ruling with a referee? Because there's always referees around the golf course, right? Which you did disagree with?
No, I mean, not really. I had a weird ruling last year where 2 years ago during Q school where we played preferred lies. I was marking my ball. I think I just placed my ball somewhere, and then with my hand I wanted to go and pick the tee back up, and I touched my ball. And these are just like so weird rules where no one knows what really happened. So I called the ref and I was like, on my way to pick up the tee, I touched the ball. What's the rule? And he's like, oh yeah, that's a 1-stroke penalty. And I was so pissed about it. I was like, that's so weird. And then
but the ball is still marked now and the tee is still down.
Exactly. And then 2 holes later he came to me and he was like, oh no, I'm sorry, my bad. You don't get a penalty stroke. And I was so mad for 2 holes.
But you could take it away after, right?
Yeah, because it was still in the process of...
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. But there's a lot of weird rules.
Yeah. Wasn't it you who got 2 penalty strokes in Poland one? That was a weird one.
That is a
too,
funny story. Yeah. So there was this one hole, it was a drivable par 4, and I think my partner hit it over the green, and he literally hit it like this close to a bush. So the only way he could play it is like either unplayable or played left-handed, so he couldn't take a stance. And then he was talking to the ref, and I was just waiting on the putting green and getting annoyed that it takes so long, because there's a road as well there. So I went up to them and I was like, well, obviously you can only play it left-handed. And the ref goes, stop. You're telling him how to play this shot. And I'm like, well, I mean, it's pretty obvious, I mean. And then he's like, yeah, just watch out. You're telling him how to play the shot. Usually that can lead to a two-stroke penalty. But he's like, I'll let you off with a warning. And then I finished the hole, and on the next tee he comes to me and is like, I'm sorry, I can't let you through with this. So he gave me a 2-stroke penalty because I said...
because you pointed out the obvious.
Because I pointed, like, there was literally no other way to
and
play this shot.
And he said you get 2 points, right?
Yeah, he said 2 points. He didn't even...
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah. but also they changed the rule that if you like do a practice swing or like your ball moves on the green, nothing happens. But if it happens on the fairway or in the rough, you get a penalty stroke. And I think it's a bit unfair because you're like not intentionally trying to hit a shot or trying to improve your lie. And if you just take your stance and there's like a branch which makes your ball move, just replace it how it was before. And
yeah, maybe we can address that.
Yeah, it will be tough.
Or in they. So I think we can go quickly back to how did you get to the DP World Tour in the first place?
So that was in 22, probably one of my best golfing years of all time. So also started struggling that year. The first few we had, I think, 6 tournaments in South Africa, and I made like 2 cuts, and I didn't really, finished like 50th or 60th in them. And then I went back home and I had like a 5-week break, and then I was just started to work with this new coach. I was with Roberto Francioni that time.
Yeah.
And what we really tried to do is like make things really simple. So see what works for me and just keep it really simple. I was just working on ball flights with my iron game, figure out like a 1 stock shot with the driver. I actually had 2. I had like a fairway finder, which in case there's a tight hole, in case I don't play well.
How does the fairway finder look?
So the fairway finder was like a low fade. I would just stand a little bit closer to the ball, make like a punch finish. That was my like go-to shot. And the other shot was just a high bump. And I think what I did really well is like sticking to that for the whole season. So I was like literally never working on my swing. I was honestly barely practicing because my game felt so good. I was like, I don't want to go to the range, hit 2 hours of balls and just ruin everything with some stupid swing thoughts. So I just did my maintenance stuff. I went like 1 hour to the range, did my putting, my chipping, like 2 hours of practice max, and then play practice rounds. And it just like kept going through the whole year. Yeah.
I think you won that year too, once on Challenge Tour, right?
Yeah, I won the last regular event.
All right.
Came really close twice.
Many times,
Finished, lost once in the playoff. And I finished second in another event. There's this one guy who finished hold like a 30-meter putt downhill, way too much speed. I think that thing was going in the water, but hold that for eagle, birdie the last, beat me by 1. But then it was actually funny. I was playing that last tournament, just had a new caddy as well, and I think we were tied as well. And instead of being nervous, I was so hungry to win this tournament because I was like, I finished second twice this year. I'm going to win this thing. And also won it in a playoff afterwards.
Oh, nice. That's great. Yeah. Oh, I have one more question actually from before. So how much does a whole season on the DP World Tour cost? Like, I think it's because you also have caddies, because you need a caddy on the DP World Tour, right?
Yeah.
So, how much?
Depends on your standards, I would say, as well. So DP World Tour always provides you with official hotels. You don't have to stay there, but you can, and those are mostly quite expensive. So if you go official hotels, you have a caddy, you have coaches. I think you're getting close to 100,000.
All right.
Yeah.
Challenge Tour would be around the same, or?
No, I usually don't play with a caddy on Challenge Tour, so I think Challenge Tour season you can get around with like 50, 60. And you're also rooming much more with, like, on Challenge Tour we're always taking Airbnbs with friends. Yeah. So we split costs. We're traveling less, so we're mostly in Europe, and on the DP World Tour you're just everywhere.
Yeah, so but that's only the costs for traveling and caddy.
Yeah.
Not like coaches at home.
In the 100,000, you mean? I mean, I'm lucky because my dad's a coach, so I'm
Yeah,
not
true.
spending too much money on that. But I don't actually know what other players pay for coaches. But I mean,
Right.
a lot of them on DP World Tour have like percentages, so coaches take away like
From the prize money.
from the prize money as well.
All right. Yeah.
But yeah, 100,000 is maybe 80 to 100,000 on DP World Tour.
Sounds reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Need some sponsors for that.
But you can make also a good amount of money. If you play
Yeah,
well.
if you play well, it's good money for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah. So we had. So, what's the plan for? How was last year? So you went back down to Challenge Tour last year.
Well, it was definitely mentally it was a bit tough because I was really enjoying it on the DP World Tour. It was just not working out for me and had some back issues as well, which was not the fault for my back playing. But yeah, it was tough to find a way back. I was actually thinking about just quitting as well at some point because I was just not improving.
Yeah,
And
like
then-
every golfer, right?
Yeah.
Twice around, I'm gonna
Yeah.
quit golf.
That is so true. No, but then we had a new coach in Swiss golf, so started working with him. Didn't see like results in the beginning, and then as I mentioned before, when I started like again focusing on pre-shot routine, making things simple, I started playing really well during the last part of the season. Just retained my card at Q School for Challenge Tour, almost made it back to DP World Tour.
Yeah.
So this definitely gave me the confidence that I'm on the right path again and hopefully getting back up there.
Yeah, hope so too. So how did this year start so far?
Um,
You had a few tournaments already, right?
I had a few tournaments in South Africa, India, Dubai. I mean, I was playing well. I was just a little bit rusty from tournament play. So I missed a couple cuts like very close. And now I just had a few good events the last few and taking positives into the next few tournaments.
When is the next tournament then for you?
So next week in Spain. This
Right.
is the first tournament in Europe. So from now on, we're just playing in Europe, and then it gets pretty busy from, I would say, mid-May. It starts getting really busy. Yeah.
So I have a question about your past. So since your father was able to coach you from an early age, when did you realize that you were? When did you think that you can become a professional player?
Actually, I think pretty early. I think I remember, I can't remember it much, but my parents always tell me when I was like in first or second grade, I always told my teacher that, I'm gonna be a golf professional anyway, so when we were talking about what do you want to become, I always said that. And then he would call my parents sometimes. It was like, well, he should maybe also focus on other stuff because he's always talking about golf. So probably when I was like 9, I already kind of realized.
9.
That's
You're
very
like,
early.
fuck.
That is very early.
It's like a friend of me, his younger son, they play, both of them, one is 5 and one is 6, they both play ice hockey. Pretty damn good, I have to say. And then the little one goes like, what do you want to do when you're older? He's like, no, he was, do you want to go to school? And he goes like, no, I just go to ice hockey school. He's like 5 years old. He's like, I'm not going to school. I'll just go to ice hockey school.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably you and
Yeah, that sounds about
like I'm
sounds
not going
like
to
me.
school. So I think does your mother support you too with food? How do you say nutrition?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. So she is a nutritionist. Like she doesn't work as much in that business anymore, but I mean, it's not like I would go to a nutritionist and she would make me a plan, and it's more like because I was living with them, I kind of got the knowledge what's important and how I should eat, drink. Yeah. So she definitely supported me in that way. Yeah.
All right, that's great. So what's the next goals? Of course, you want to go back to DP World Tour
That is the main goal of this year.
of this year,
Or-
yeah. And then what would be the ultimate goal, or like the
ultimate goal of my
golf career?
golf career is that would definitely be to win a major.
Yeah. Do you have a specific one, or it's just one major? If you could choose one of them.
If I could choose one, I would want to win the Masters.
All right. The green jacket.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty good, yeah. What's your goal, Madu?
I just
He wants to kick my ass at some
I want to
point.
beat Zeno in a round. That's my goal. It's gonna happen at some point.
I believe in you. It's gonna be tough though.
Yeah, we had this discussion before. There's this big discussion about that 100 men against the gorilla on social media right now. So we changed it a little bit into 125 handicap golfers versus tour professional playing 4-ball best ball. So the 100 players will play 4-ball best ball if they could beat tour professional on 18th hole of golf.
I think depends the course.
Yeah.
On a tour course, honestly, I don't think they would beat a pro.
I think so too.
In a scramble, definitely, but
Scramble, yes. Scramble. But if they have to play their own ball for the whole hole,
Yeah.
it's going to be a tough one, I guess.
because I don't think that like 25 handicappers, they don't make too many birdies.
Yeah.
So it's definitely going to be hard to shoot on the par. I mean, someone's going to make a par,
Probably, yeah.
probably, but
Yeah.
if the tour pro has a good day, I think they're going to win.
Yeah, that's going to be a hard one, for
Yeah.
sure, yes. Yeah, so Masters. Do you like Ryder Cup? Would that be a dream to play for Europe in the Ryder Cup?
Would definitely be a crazy experience, yeah.
I'd be there if you play.
That's good. I'll
For
invite you.
Sounds good.
What is your favorite club in the golf bag? What is your absolute favorite
So we
club?
go to the stinger questions, right?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So, yeah.
Definitely driver. I mean, because I think if you have a good driving day, you get so many opportunities for birdie, and yeah, I hit it long as well. So
How far do you hit it on average?
I would say around from 270 to 280 meters carry.
Okay. That's big.
That's
Yeah,
yeah,
you can-
it's up there.
He can stretch that too if
Yeah.
he wants to.
What about you, Zeno? How far do you hit it?
Right now, probably about the same. I go like a normal one is probably like 265, 270 in the air.
Yeah.
Then it depends how hard the ground is, so like how far it will roll. But carry it's around that.
Okay.
But I think Jeremy can hit it a touch harder if he wants to than when I stretch it.
Yeah, if there's a wide fairway, I can go up.
Yeah, he can step at it. So driver is like already Cedric said driver last time, right? So
Yeah,
it's
Cedric
so
also
far
said
we only
driver.
have drivers. We'll see what next.
Yeah. So, who's your favorite golfer at the moment?
At
Like
the
to
moment.
watch, and which swing do you like the most?
I think it's tough to not say Rory McIlroy at the moment. I mean, for me, it's more, I love his driver swing. I mean, I love his iron swing as well, but I think his swing is so perfect for driving, and
Yeah.
you can also see that in his stats. He's probably by far one of the best drivers in the world. And I mean, otherwise, I would definitely say Ludwig Alberg is one of them as well, yeah.
You played 2 years ago at the Omega Masters. Yeah. He also played there. Yeah. So did you speak with him there, or was there any any
No,
contact or?
no, I don't know him really well. I actually figured out afterwards that we played some amateur golf. I wasn't sure if we played together, but we were leading one tournament together in like 2017 or something, where I found a picture of me and him like in the same picture on Instagram. That was pretty fun. But no, I did not talk to
Maybe
him.
we can find that picture.
Maybe, yeah.
What is the most clutch shot that you've ever hit? Like your most memorable clutch moment?
I think that was on the DP World Tour during the PGA Championship in Wentworth. So I played Friday, and I think I was 2 behind the cut for 4 holes to play. And then the round got suspended because of darkness. So I had to go back to the hotel, come back at, I don't know, 7 o'clock on Saturday, and I knew I had to shoot 2 under. And I missed the first 3 greens and made 3 up and downs for par. And then the last hole is like, it's that famous par 5 dogleg right. And I hit like a shitty drive, but in the middle of the fairway. And then, I mean, I knew I had to make eagle. So I hit a 5-iron. Actually, also not one of my greatest shots as well. But like landed front of the green, rolled back to the flag. And then I had like a, I would say 10, 12 footer for birdie, like up the hill, right to left.
For eagle?
For eagle to make the cut. And I knew I had to make it. And I mean,
Nice.
That was nice, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Cool. So the next question would be, what is the worst advice that you were ever given, but what is also the best advice that you were given? Maybe start with the worst.
That's a good question. I mean, I think the worst advice is like trying to perfect your swing a little bit. Like, because I think this caused a lot of problems in my career. Like, because when I grew up as a little boy, I was like a very free player or very freestyle player. And then when I started getting better, I had different coaches and they all tried to change my swing and tried to get it into perfect positions and everywhere. And that's where I lost it a little bit. And I would also just say the best advice also goes in that direction, just trying like keep things really simple and just use your strengths and play with what you have. Like, don't try to look too much at what other players are doing and try to do the same, because everyone is different, and just try to find what works for you and then stick to that for a while.
Yeah, like hit the second ball first. It's a good advice.
Oh, yeah, that is a good advice. Second one always goes in the hole or on the fairway.
I think there was a German guy who said to me, a friend of him, he always had an extra ball in his pocket, and before he hit the tee shot, he threw it in the forest. So his mind was like, we already lost one, so I'm gonna tee up the second. So
that's crazy.
he took that kind of a bit serious.
Well, if it works, why
Yeah,
not? If it works.
I don't know how good it worked, but I
Yeah.
heard it. Yeah,
I mean, golfers are weird. So.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so my next question would be, what would be your dream foursome if you got to choose anyone dead or alive, golfer, non-golfer? Who would you pick?
I think it's gotta be Tiger for sure, or I would most preferably like Tiger in his prime, because I just want to see how good he was.
Yeah.
Then I would go maybe something really old school, like Ben Hogan or something, just to see how they played, like with their equipment. Because we have so much technology nowadays, and just back then they didn't have video cameras. They just needed to figure everything themselves. Yeah. And then to make it fun, I would maybe say Adam Sandler, just to throw some jokes in there. That would be a good foursome.
Yeah,
that sounds like
fun.
a pretty good, fun round of golf.
Yeah, definitely.
That sounds like good fun. Yeah.
Adam Sandler, that's
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the stinging question. So do you we wrote down some cliches from golf. So do you guys know any cliches for like golfers, like you normally say? Like for example, like it's never the golfer's fault.
It's the caddy's fault.
Always.
The caddies or the grounds or the balls, the wind, the tree.
There's always something to blame, but the player. Yeah.
Misread.
Poor
a stone on the
greens.
green. There's I think talking to the ball is one.
Yeah, I do that too, though. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, we all
I think
do it,
everyone
yes.
does that
Yeah.
a little bit, and I think it helps a little bit as well.
Or like we said before, like I'm gonna quit golf for saying it twice around and then book the next round right after 18th hole.
Yeah, I think
Like,
we
we're
just
gonna
had
see
that
it.
discussion last week. This week we were in Lausanne, and it was Robert Foley and Ronan, and we had to
Yeah.
discuss it. Like, it happens at least once a year where you're like, I quit. I'm done. I'm so done with this. It happened to Ronan last year. He was on the phone with his coach, and he's like, I'm gonna quit now.
Yeah.
And he was throwing clubs away, and then the next week he played in Cron and actually played really well. So
Yeah.
everything changes in a week. You're always one good shot away from not quitting anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I had this once in Egypt. I think I played really well, but I shot 5 over par, and I couldn't imagine like how on hell were you able to shoot 5 over par. So I came back to the room, I called my coach, I called my mental coach, and I'm done, fuck this. I'm like, I don't wanna. So normally I would have gone to the driving range and probably hit balls for 2 hours, and I think I just played Minecraft for 5 hours in my hotel room. And I shot 7 under the next day.
Yeah, I mean, that's
So
golf.
yeah, I was like quitting, and then the next day I was like playing some of my best golf I've ever played.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
I mean,
how it happened.
it happened,
You
yeah.
can still figure that out, Madu.
Yeah, I'm not there yet.
It'll come.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the cliche. I think it's there's sure some more cliches for golfer.
Another cliche that my dad always says is I was hitting it so good on the range, and then when we go on the course and he's not hitting it, he gets very angry. I was hitting it good on the range and now it doesn't work. Yeah, that's another one.
That's one for sure.
Yeah, but that happens actually quite often.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why do you think that happens?
I think you're probably not thinking as much on the range, and I mean it's easier on the range because you're like hitting at the same target most of the time. You don't have breaks in between, and probably when you're hitting it so well on the range, your expectations just go up.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
overconfidence.
And then you hit 1 or 2 bad shots on the course, and you can't remember how you hit the good shots on the range anymore.
And then you start searching for them.
Yeah, then you start searching for them on the round, and
Yeah.
you find them on the 18th hole.
Normally, yeah. Like on 17 or 18,
Yeah.
like, fuck, here it is.
there it is.
Why didn't it come like 17 holes before?
Yeah.
Like now we can book the next round. Yeah. So, what do you think? What's the biggest difference between an amateur and a pro?
Like an elite amateur, or
I would say no, like more like a amateur.
I think the biggest difference is that pros really, like, they know their game really, really well. So they know where their strengths are, they know where their weaknesses are, they know how to use that on the golf course, playing to your strengths. And they also know how to get, like, if they start like playing bad, they have like so many cues on how to get back on track
Yeah.
quicker, and they just try, like, they know what works for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of amateurs are always running to this pro, then running to another pro, and then they get so confused they don't really know what they should work on anymore, and they also haven't experienced maybe a lot of like good moments in their career, so they don't have anything to like go back to.
Yeah. I think it's also like what I see often or hear. It's like so you'd go to a golf coach and they kind of expect the coach to give you the magic pill that the swing is just gonna work from then on what you're working on. But normally it's like you're probably gonna hit 1 or 2 weeks just ugly golf shots on the driving range, one after another. It's just because you're working on your technique, and it just doesn't work. But that's just the process. And then there's a lot of amateurs which go practice maybe 1 or 2 days on that technique, and then they feel like, I'm not hitting it well, and then they go back to the old stuff where it actually kind of works and feels better.
Yeah, definitely.
So that could be...
Yeah, definitely in the beginning years of an amateur, because it takes so much time to change something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I need to change something, it's gonna take like a year until it's like...
Yeah, you do it most of the time in the off season, like winter season, or when you have like 3-4 weeks off, you maybe say, okay, we're gonna work on like something little, but you just like keep working on little stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly, and it takes so much time.
Yeah.
It's like that it feels good on the golf course, and especially in tournaments. Because I had so many times where you're on the range and you try new stuff and you're like, oh my God, I hit it so good like this. And then you go on the course and you're like, I can't do that.
Working. Yeah, for sure. So do you have anything you enjoy besides golf? Or what do you like doing when you're home?
I mean, I enjoy doing many different sports. I would say it always changes with me, so I would say I'm a little bit ADHD in that area. So I do one thing for like 3 weeks. For example, I started like road biking last year a little bit.
Oh, it's true. I had to hear stories from Mauro.
Exactly.
When he was...
And I always started with friends, and they like keep going for like 2 years. And me, after 3 weeks, I'm like, that's boring. I need something new. So I jump from things to things, like just doing different sports. Like I enjoy doing endurance sports. I don't know why, but kind of feels good.
You played the guitar too. So
I play the guitar. I do, as I mentioned before, I do programming. So
sadly, we don't have a guitar here. Andy forgot it.
I'd be too nervous. Nah, it's fine.
No, but that's because otherwise you would have heard a little
Tune.
Playing tune. Yes, right.
Yeah, I'd definitely be more nervous on that than on the first tee playing the guitar.
Do you have any tips for young players who are trying to become professionals? So there's a little boy on the range and he goes to you, he says, what can I do? What do you tell him or her?
I think I would tell them, like, especially in the younger years, like go on the course as much as you can. Like don't practice too much on the range. Just go out and play 36 holes a day if you can on the weekends. Just play more than you like practice on the range, just to kind of get a feel for scoring, for like what the real golf game is about. And then maybe start early with like injury prevention stuff, like a little like just in the gym, like stuff that for your back especially, because I think the most important thing nowadays is hit the ball far. And there's probably so many juniors out there like trying to hit it so far, like leaning back like this, and then when they're like 18, their back is completely destroyed. So definitely try to hit it far, go on the course, have fun, and do some.
A lot of course play.
A lot of course play.
I think a lot of course play is
I mean that's
best you can do.
I mean the best golfers are from like UK and America, and I think that's where they just play on course. They go out with their carts. UK, it's so windy all the time. It doesn't really make sense hitting balls in the wind all the time. So I think they're spending so much more time on the golf course and actually learning it there.
To control the golf ball more, yeah.
Yeah,
Than searching for the perfect swing on the driving range.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many perfect swings out there who
Oh yeah,
can't break 80. So
for sure, yeah.
yeah.
So we got the challenge,
Oh yeah.
All right.
right?
Yeah, sure.
Gonna make some space and then see how. I think Cedric was 9 feet away. I think Madu is still leading.
I won last time. Put this here.
Wait, just need to put that. You can, Jeremy, you can go back to you.
Are you guys hitting as well?
I don't know. Should we? So, don't worry. It's a soft. No, it's a soft golf ball.
Softball.
So you'll be fine. But let's
Hopefully.
put that a little bit away.
Good. Well, practice went good before, so.
Ooh. Sit.
Didn't spin.
Nope. 1, 2, 7.
Ah, that's good. I beat
That's not
Sadie.
too bad.
You want to go next?
Go ahead.
All right.
Beat the pro.
Good luck.
Ah,
All right.
as you wish. Last time he did quite well, so.
What's his handicap?
What's your handicap, Madu? You don't know?
No, I do know. I don't think you should know.
Somewhere about, I think it's like
Myself.
30, 35 or something like that. Higher?
Yeah, much higher.
Ooh, just
That
short.
was-
Just short. 8. Someone from the audience wants to try. No?
After that.
That's good. I'll give it a try.
I'll move then. Go in. Oh.
Almost. What are you at? 7 feet?
Yeah, that's closer.
Sure. 2.5.
Nice.
Very
Yeah,
nice. Well
I
done.
got some practice from last time. So yeah, I think. Do you have any questions from the audience? From the yeah, yeah, for sure. Yes.
When you were talking about your routine, you
Yeah.
talked about the glove,
Yeah.
which is like you close the glove as if you're closing your brain from negative thoughts.
Exactly.
How did you come to that? Is that something you were discussing with your mental coach, or how did you come to that?
It's actually my golf coach who came up with the idea. So we're just trying to figure out something that, just like a trigger to say, okay, my thinking part is done. Now I'm going in to hit the golf shot, and we were playing around with different stuff, like with the bracelet, like just pull the bracelet, clip it like this, or just touch your ear or anything. And I think just the glove thing just worked best for me. I'll just leave it open. As soon as it's closed, I'm ready to play. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead.
We were talking about in different rounds, sometimes you speak with people, sometimes you don't, depending on who you are with. Did you feel that when you're in a round that's more relaxed, that you're talking with people, you play better?
Definitely, yeah. And I think I'm also, when I'm nervous, I don't talk so much, but then I try to go up to people and talk to them to like be less nervous, like just engage. I think talking always helps to get your mind off things. Otherwise, you're just like thinking all the time in your head, especially when you're nervous. And I think talking when you're nervous is a really good thing to do. Which it's also, for me, it's definitely hard when I'm nervous talking to other people because there's so much going on in my head. But yeah.
I have a couple more if it's
Sure,
okay.
sure,
Yeah.
go ahead. We got time.
We were talking about your victory at the English Trophy, and before that you ended a few times second.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think made the difference for you to win that day versus the times that you were second?
I think it's because, first of all, I was already safe, like qualified for DP World Tour. And I think these 2 second place finishes made me hungry to win an event. And I had the opportunity there on the last day. I was playing also with a friend of mine, and he started playing really well. So I was always in that like hunting position. And I mean, I think I shot 6 or 7 under on the last day to win the tournament. And I think maybe on the first 2 events I would not have, like mentally, maybe I would not have been able to do that because it was my first time in that position. And then when I won it, I was just focusing only on the win. And I think that was the main difference.
Would you say you're a gear geek? Do you like trying new equipment or?
Not really, no. I mean, I just stick to what works. I don't like testing around too much. I'm not a guy who knows about everything. So a lot of my friends, they know so much about golf, and I'm just like, I mean, this is what I play with. I don't know. But yeah.
And I had one more, but you kind of alluded to that earlier a bit. But it's like if there is an aspiring pro, what was the most useful tip you would give to that person?
Yeah, as I mentioned before, I think know your strengths and weaknesses, and especially practice your strengths a lot. So, because I think everyone has weaknesses, but if you look at like Scotty Scheffler and stuff, he's a really average, if not almost a poor putter. And his long game is just so good. And I think that's also what he focuses on the most. And I think just working on your strengths a lot and knowing what works best for you. Just don't try to lose yourself in too many things. Like once you feel comfortable in a part, just like try focus on staying on top of that and don't try to change it too much.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you, yeah.
So, yeah, thank you everybody for coming. Big thanks to Madu, to Jeremy, of course, for being here today, to Brian. Where is Brian? Not here. Andy, for the sound. Thank you very much. Again, a big thanks to Athletes Network, which provided us with the cameras for today. Without them, we wouldn't be able to record it. And so everybody else can hear and see it too. And yeah, maybe you can stay for a few more moments, enjoy another drink. At 7, they're going to start serving some really nice Japanese food in here too. So maybe you want to stay for that. And thanks you all for coming. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and YouTube, 19th hole _Harlekin, where you can see the full episodes too and some insights on Instagram. So yeah, hopefully see you next time. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for coming, yeah.